What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, normally when I get here by the end of the day, I'm yawning like crazy. I'm just tired because I'm just worn out because it's been like a long day. I busted a hump, tried to do all the things that I could to be a solid citizen, to do everything I could to advance myself, to look out for people that are close to me and stuff, get out my content. And by the end of the day, I'm usually tired, boss. I'm usually real tired. But it's freaking midnight, and I don't feel like going to bed tonight. I'll be honest, man. When the Cowboys lose, it's painful. It's painful. And you literally, I get trolled, okay? I get trolled so hard during the game, after the game. You know, and see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I still show up. Win, lose, or draw, I show up. I take that shit. I take that shit. And Eagle fans, they were, gloating and talking about how bad, oh man, we're going to be leading the division, we're going to be 2-0 and everything else, and so on. And it seemed like that was going to happen. You looked at Kirk Cousins in the first half, and you were seeing Kirk Cousins just look like he couldn't move. It didn't look like some of the balls looked like they took a week to get there, like they were literally being mailed from the post office. And some of the passes were behind, and you're looking and saying, boy, Kirk Cousins looks old. But they came out in the second half, they went down the field, they took the lead, 15-10, and the Eagles didn't seem like they had it all together. Barkley started out the game running like crazy. You're like, oh my God, he's just going to run roughshod over Atlanta. They're going to blow this thing out. And then you had the Eagles go down there, they get a touchdown, take the lead, get the 2-point conversion. They're up 18-15. They stop. They end up stopping the Falcons on 4th down in Falcons territory, and the Falcons defense holds them to a field goal. And what's crazy is that field goal that they held them to, because the time was running out. In my mind, was like, this game was over. Because, Falcons had a couple of timeouts after they failed to convert. I think they were on like the 42-yard line. Eagles get the ball. Falcons, it's only a couple minutes left in there. Falcons got 2 timeouts, and they're churning the ball, they're moving everything else. And there's like a minute 50-some left. And here it is. 3rd down and 4. And I remember I told you, Eagle fans, I told you guys about Kellen Moore. Because see, here's where you don't seem to understand. You guys go through and you say the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are chokers. You say they're chokers. And you say, but Kellen Moore's a genius. You don't seem to understand that Kellen Moore, when we lost those playoff games, was the guy who was calling plays. And I told you that you end up having times where you're churning up the ball, you're running real well. Then all of a sudden you do like a trick play and you lose like 10 yards. But he's got a label of being this genius. But I'm telling you, he's not. He's not. We tried to tell you this. Because here's the thing. He left and goes to the Chargers, where the Chargers fans said, oh, well, now Kellen Moore's got a real quarterback. He's got all kinds of weapons. He's going to be able to do all kinds of things. And somehow, Justin Herbert went downhill. And I told you guys, to me, it seemed like Kellen Moore is more of the passing guy, and the longer design plays, okay, the combination routes and everything else. And Jalen Hurts is more of that guy that's better at running the football. And I said it's like water and oil, and I don't know that it's going to work that good. Now, Jalen Hurts, to his credit, did not turn over the ball until the last play of the game, okay? in a Hail Mary, come with me, Mary. So that's 4 turnovers he's had this season. That play call was so wrong. You have a 3-point lead. They have no timeouts. There's 1:50 left on the clock or something like that. You run the football. You run the football. If you don't get the first down, it's okay. Because by the time you take the 6-7 seconds off the clock for the play, then the play clock, you take it down under a minute. You take it down under a minute, and you don't give them enough time to be able to hopefully go down and score because they've got no timeouts. You understand what I'm saying? Instead, you throw a screen pass, which seemed to be the right call, but Barkley drops it. Incomplete pass. And what happens is it stops the clock. You kick the field goal, you're up by 6, but you gave them enough time to go down the field and win it. You know how many times I have seen the Dallas Cowboys do stupid shit like that? I remember against the Green Bay Packers where we were up 26-3 at the half. 26-3 at the half. Not to Aaron Rodgers, but the freaking Matt Flynn. And what did the Cowboys do? They kept coming out, throwing the football. Because here's what happens. If you throw it incomplete, it stops the freaking clock. If they had just run the ball, and even if they didn't make first downs, they would have run so much time off the clock that they wouldn't have had enough time to come back. That game was lost purely by the coach or the play caller. That's it. You run the football, game's over. You screwed the pooch. You crapped on yourself. You sucked. And you got, to your team's credit of getting down there when your defense was run roughshod. I ain't got no room to talk. My Cowboys looked like ass against the Saints yesterday. They sucked. But I'm going to say that the Eagles defense, the way that Bijan Robinson and crew ran over those guys, oh, jeez. And Kirk Cousins, mind you, going into tonight's Monday night game, Kirk Cousins was 3-10 on Monday night. He's been the joke of Monday Night Football for years. And that guy, with 1:40 on the clock, leaves 40 seconds, drives down the field and gets a touchdown to literally stick it in your back, a knife, and twist it. Now, Cowboy fans, I know you're pissed off. I know you're still mad. But here's the thing that's kind of crazy about football. Yesterday was a bad day for everybody that were deemed top teams. The Eagles now, of course, had a golden opportunity to take a big lead early in the division. They lose, they get exposed, and A.J. Brown is not going to be playing next week. 49ers, they lose. They lose to the Minnesota Vikings that are surprisingly playing well. They lose to the Minnesota Vikings, but they've already lost Christian McCaffrey on the injured reserve. And now there's word that Deebo Samuels is going to be out for several weeks with a calf strain. And even when he comes back with a calf strain, that's one of those ones that are hard to heal from. And so now it's got to be Brock Purdy's show. And mind you, without Christian McCaffrey, they still ran the ball really well yesterday, but still lost. It's a good thing they didn't trade away Brandon Ayuk. The Lions lost yesterday. The Rams lost yesterday. So you're looking at Tampa Bay's 2-0, Seattle's 2-0. Is Minnesota 2-0 or 1-1? They might be. So there's nobody There's nobody that's really running away with shit right now. However, Cowboys, you got opportunities, but you got to get your shit together. I was going to be talking about tonight about the Cowboys need to consider trying to bring in another weapon before the season gets too far gone, but I can save that for tomorrow. Right now, I'm just enjoying that the Eagles lost, and I don't know if you guys watched. If you didn't watch the live stream, seeing victory snatched from the Eagles, watching our live stream was pure gold, pure gold. And I've got that clip that I'm uploading now of Barkley dropping that pass and Kirk Cousins going down the field and literally Philly losing it. In the end, here's the thing that's funny to me, because some Eagle fan, I think named Ragu, said, this is why you get trolled by the Eagles. You know what? I tell you what's been really fun for me was my dad's 86 years old. My love for the Dallas Cowboys comes directly from him. As a little kid sitting on the couch, I didn't know what football was when I was a little kid, so the first memories I have is sitting there looking up at my dad on a Sunday while he's cheering on the Cowboys. I didn't know what the Cowboys were, but all I knew was the man I look up to right there, he loved the Cowboys, so I loved the Cowboys. And that's how I became a Cowboys fan. And for those of you who say I'm just a bandwagon, well, I guess I'm a bandwagon fan of my dad. And that was before the Cowboys ever won a Super Bowl. That's where my love started. And I'm going to say, actually, with BetUS, it's been kind of fun because my dad is all excited. You know, he's not putting a whole lot of money. It's $20 or $25 a game and stuff like that. But doing this together with him has been so much fun, because he called me up today. I want to put $25 on the Eagles. I'm like, Dad, you don't want to do that. And he's like, well, let's take the under. Well, he won on the under. Fortunately, the free play money was the money that I put on for the Eagles game. So that was the money he lost. He lost BetUS's money, so I don't feel so bad about that. But growing up, seeing my dad and the interactions with my uncles and, my brothers and everything else, the people he worked with at work that were Commanders fans at the time, Redskin fans, the way they trash talk and stuff, it's the same thing here. It's literally, it's different because I'm doing it on camera here to you guys and with Philly 500 and stuff, or text messages or videos, but it's the same thing that my dad was doing with his friends and stuff. That's the great thing about football, man. When you win, hey, to the victor go the spoils. When you lose, you got to take your lumps. And it's not about hate. It's actually kind of fun. So whether I said anything about the Eagles on this game or not, or got happy that the Eagles lost, I'm still going to get trolled. I've been trolled for years. And it is what it is. Don't bother me none. That's the great thing about sports. Anyway, the Eagles losing means we didn't lose anything but our self-respect yesterday. As far as trying to win the division, to make the playoffs, no harm, no foul. However, now that the Cowboys got a break, they got to do something with it. And that shit that they did yesterday, that bullshit, that letting somebody come to your house and bitch slap you, drink your good alcohol, and leave the trash all over the floor, you don't let that shit happen. You need to take that shit and turn it into something a hell of a lot better than what that was we saw. Because that was pathetic. That sucked. That stunk. Ain't nobody going to give you shit. You gotta earn it. And with that being said, remember, good people, Tell the people you love how much you love them. Because you might not get the chance again, and I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Eagles. Eagles.